David has a quote that I use very frequently with clients, which is the stress doesn't come from too much to do, it comes from infinite possibilities. I can't tell you how many calls I start with a client sharing that they're feeling overwhelmed. And I have so many clients that because they are seeing so many possibilities personally, professionally, in their community that they want to work on, that they want to make into projects and actions, that they have many times taken on more than they could take. And then they're just in this place of feeling very overwhelmed. A client said to me yesterday, he goes, Meg, when I continue to want to do more, then I continue to feel the pain, and it's so self-afflicting. One of the things that I think that we do as GTD coaches is we are always bringing to the forefront to the client this concept of the threefold nature of work. Where is your space in your calendar for time to define your work, which is about an hour, at least an hour a day of clarifying and organizing your inputs. But there's also needs to be time to be able to do predefined work, to work off of that next actions list. And to also have time, if need be, for the unplanned. I have many people, this came up yesterday where a client was really looking for space in her calendar. And she said, I know that I need to meet with all of my direct reports because if I don't, then they can't move their work forward. So I can't really renegotiate that because I also not only need to have that time for the one-on-ones, but I also need time for the unplanned so that I'm not the bottleneck. And I see more than not clients taking on opportunities in isolation and not looking at it against their current inventory of work, but also looking at it in terms of the threefold nature of work. Because they're not holding that concept of the threefold nature of work, they see that open space that they need for the threefold, and they go ahead and fill it with more meetings. And then they come back into the coaching calls and say, didn't do my weekly review, or, my emails are back up to 600, or I'm just not getting to those next actions that I need to. So it's something that when clients move over that hurdle, they start really looking at anything that they are coming at them, or when they're clarifying and organizing, they're able to then start looking at it to what they already have committed to. So maybe they need to renegotiate, recalibrate, which is really fabulous to see that when they do that. And also keep that space open, because when they do, they don't feel so overwhelmed, and they are working with us because they want to get out of that pattern. It's that cycle. It's what I was just sharing with you with that client said, it's self-afflicting. So one of the things that you might want to practice when you're clarifying and organizing your work, or when you're in a meeting, is just to take that moment of pause before you say yes to something and evaluate it against your current inventory. Maybe the best thing for you to do is to say yes and recalibrate and renegotiate your current inventory. Maybe the best thing to do is to say no. And one of the hardest things is to say no to really important people and really important projects, to say not now. It showed up yesterday with a client who, after we went through this whole exercise, really understood that she couldn't take on new projects and new clients for 5 months. And knowing that is going to be so much easier for her to say no, or to say yes and then continue to renegotiate and recalibrate what her current inventory already is, which is so much easier when you don't have 600 or 700 or thousands of emails in your inbox, because there could be actionable things in there. It's so much easier to do that if you are staying on top of doing your predefined work, and particularly having the space for the unplanned so that you're not rescheduling people all the time to make room for the unplanned. So something to think about. I'm constantly practicing it. It's something that doesn't ever really get resolved, I think. It's just something that always is something that we have to work on because we are in that place of infinite possibilities.